This is the story of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. We tell this story during the time of the color green. Martin was born on January 15th, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. His mother and his father called him Michael after his father. But when he was 5 years old, his father changed both of their names to Martin Luther King to honor the great German reformer from the 16th century. That German reformer fought to make the world better. Martin and his father did too. Martin had an older sister and a younger brother. His father would gather the family around the dinner table at 6 p.m. every night. And he would lead them into a discussion about God and the world. Daddy King felt it was important to discuss serious things with his children, even when they were very young. They often talked about how all people should be treated with respect. Martin's mother also talked with the children about important things. When Martin was 6 years old, his very best friend, who was white, told him that his parents said that he could no longer play with Martin because of his black skin. This confused Martin. He became sad and became angry. His mother took him on her lap and told him about slavery and prejudice. Prejudice is when someone doesn't like you because of the color of your skin. She reminded him that there are places in the Bible where the people of God overcame slavery and prejudice. He could too. Martin grew up and he became a Baptist minister just like his father and his grandfather. He also studied for many, many years and became a doctor of theology. This is why he's known as Dr. King. He also worked hard for the dream that Black Americans would no longer be treated differently because of the color of their skin. No one knew when real change would happen. But one day, in 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, a Black woman named Rosa Parks refused to give her seat up on a bus for a white person. This changed everything. In those days, the buses were divided into white, mixed, and Black. By law, Black people still had to move to the back of the bus when told to. The bus driver told her to move to make some room for a white person who got on the bus. The other Black people moved, but Rosa didn't. She was tired. She said, only tired of giving in to unjust laws. She was arrested, and Black Americans became angry when they heard about it. Dr. King helped the Black people of Montgomery fight back peacefully. They stopped taking the bus. This way, the bus company lost money. Black people walked to work for 381 days and for many miles. Do you know what happened? The city changed the law that forced Black people to sit at the back of the bus. They could sit anywhere they wanted to. This was the first of many protests Dr. King organized to change America forever. Working for change is never easy. It takes courage and it takes faith. Many people were very mean to Dr. King and his family. Someone tried to blow up their house. Many tried to scare them with their words, but there were also knives and guns. Dr. King was arrested and placed in jail 29 times for trying to change things by protesting against unjust laws. In 1963, a huge crowd of people came to Washington, D.C. to march for jobs and to march for freedom. That's when Dr. King made his most famous speech. He said, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." This was also the year when he won the Nobel Peace Prize at age 34. The next year, the Civil Rights Act turned his dream into law. And the next year, the Voting Rights Act passed. But there was still so much more work to be done. Dr. King continued to travel the country, working for change until one day in 1968, he was killed. He was in Memphis, Tennessee to lead another protest. He was buried in Atlanta, Georgia, where he was born. We remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because of his dream that Black Americans will be treated the same as everyone else because he courageously traveled everywhere to make that dream come true. I wonder what part of that story was the most important. I wonder what part of that story you liked the best. I wonder, could we take out anything in that story and it would still be the same? I wonder, where do you see yourself in this story? Let me show you what's inside this booklet and how you can use it to remember Dr. King. This is about Reverend Dr. King. And he grew up in the country that we live in, the United States. And here's the United States right here. This is the flag of the United States. We open up the booklet. We can see when he was born. And then this tells the story that you just heard. So now you can go through the story yourself. Let me show you how we put this story away. This is the table that helps us remember the important times he and his family sat around the dinner table talking about serious things. So you have the table. And we can't forget the chairs. Chairs are important when eating. Here is the bus that helps us remember how Martin organized a protest about what happened to Rosa Parks to change the unjust rule that Black people had to always sit at the back of the bus. Here is the red heart that reminds us of Martin's great courage and love of peace. Here are the people of God who remind us of Martin's dream that his children and people everywhere would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And this is our underlay to remind us that we tell this story during the time of the color green. And this is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, I wonder what you would like to work with today. It might be something about this story, or another story you've heard, or something entirely different. Only you know what's right for you.